Welcome guys to episode 4 on the starter guide to Zed Run, and today we are going to talk about none other than breeding. Probably one of the most discussed, talked about topic in Zed Run lore, history, whatever you want to call it. And to answer your question, first thing, before we talk about anything else is breeding truly random in the sense that you can't do anything to make it better or worse? And the quick answer is no. There are proven ways and such like that to see what can breed better horses, what can be worse horses. There are some random factors in there as well too, but again, we're not going to go into too much detail on that. We'll save that for another deep dive episodes with more facts and people talking about it and other details and stuff like that. Today we're going to talk about the basics of breeding. Why do we breed? How to price breeding? How to actually pick and choose to breed one? And simple as, is it fun? How do we have fun with it? How do we make money with it? Or can we even make money with it? So simple, basic breeding guideline. Nothing in depth, just basic. So first thing is, this is the stud farm on the Zed Run website. How do we navigate this? Well, search. If you want to search a name on here on somebody, you can just put, like, let's say for example and randomly Z2 Haskell the Rascal. Let's say you wanted him. Someone posted him online. You really liked his sales pitch. Like, you just search him on there. That's how you search. Or you can go the old routine of, like, you know what, I want a Nakamoto, I want a Z4, let's say, and I want let's go an exclusive, right? Oh look, they all populate there. The pricing is all down here, you can see, and then how many time left you have on there. You click into it, you can click into there as well too. It's in stud. It's 0.126. That's the fee for it. You can see all the details of this horse. It has 3 out of 3 left, and these are the parents of it as well. Of course, that's your decision to see which one you want to pick. Your own theories on testing out what to do on breeding. There's a lot of that, and again, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Today, just the basics of breeding. So that is the filters. You can filter through breeds, filter through gender, filter through bloodlines, and filter through generations. So now we all know how to navigate this. For example, we go here, and then we like this guy. We click select mate, and you select female. I don't think I have any females available, but basically you click that, you click OK, you're good to go. You'll get it within, I would say, 10 minutes, depending on the time of the day, maybe sometimes 15 minutes, whatever. It's just very, it depends. It depends. Sometimes it's like almost instant. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. It all depends on the time of the day, how busy the network is, and if the server's even, working that day. Next, we go into this website here, basically the Zed Run guide onto breeding. So we'll talk, like I said, the basics of the basics, what to do, what is the breeding. First, limits. Every male can only breed 3 times every month in 28 days. Every female can only breed once every 28 days. So what this means is, if you have 1 male and 3 females, you can technically breed them all in-house within that little group pod, whatever you call it. Basically, 1 male can have 3 females and mate with in a month. Females can only mate once a month. And only males are in the stud farm, so if you hold a female, you pick the male you want to breed with. It can't be the other way around. And what the breeding price is, well, it's set by yourself, the person that owns the male, and there are minimums to each one. I'm not going to go and search through the minimums because they do change. They have changed. So it does change every so often. I don't know when they're going to make the next change or if they're going to make the next change, but it has changed. So you can just go and click to see what the minimum is every so often to see how much it actually costs. And of course, breeding in stable. So currently, as of today, breeding in stable is kind of stupid. Sorry if Zed Run is watching this, but it's kind of stupid. You get 35% off the price. So for example, you're picking this guy. If you had this guy in your own stable and you want to pick this as your stud with your own in-house female, and you're like, you know what, I want to pick it, I want to breed internally to save some money, but you only get a 35% discount on that one, versus if you were to breed with somebody else that has the stud on for a whole week, you get 53% of the money. So why would I, get less money for breeding in-house versus paying somebody else? So a lot of people, what they do is they create a separate stable, send the male over to the next stable, and put that stable in for a week, and then pay that, and the money gets transferred there. Of course, you're gonna be like, oh, then the money goes into that one. So yeah, it does go to the other one. It is kind of annoying. So depending on your strategy and what everything it does make a difference. But me personally, I have 2 minimum stables. I'm just gonna say 2 because I have multiple, but 2 main ones that I have, and they just use each other. They all race each other. They all race as well too, and such like that. So money doesn't really matter. It's all the same thing for me. But at the same time, some people think it's annoying. So, but money is money, right? The extra 20 something percent, the extra 18% on Ethereum can be used for more racing and testing out your new bred horse. So, in my opinion, just do the separate stable, save some money. So as per Zed Run, and I'm using this as per what they're saying, I'm not using it like people's theories or whatever it is. This is as per Zed Run, as per the official company lettering, what they tell us, right? Just in real world, you can breed 2 racehorses together and produce a new offspring to enter races and create a stable full of racehorses. However, there are many reasons to breed, including benefits such as breeding a champion racehorse, more unique NFTs for collectability, creating super coats, earning a real return, and creating legacy and value and such. So first of all is a championship racehorse. One of the most important topics in this is to have a winning racehorse. As per Zed, not saying other people's theories and stuff like that, as per Zed, if your goal is to breed racehorses, you'll want to analyze all the available information about the racehorse you choose to breed with. Look carefully at DNA profile and performance history on the racetrack. Just keep that in mind, right? I'm not saying any theories or anything. This is as per Zed Run, that if you want to breed a racehorse, a good racehorse, look at the DNA profile, look at performance history on track. Simple as that. Every other theories, we'll talk about that later. Unique NFTs, this is just stupid. They're all NFTs anyways. All the horses are NFTs anyways. You get to create your own name. You get to pick your own name on your new horse. So, yay. You get to pick your own names. I run out of names all the time. Super coats, what's a little bit different is you can breed 2 same colored horses and you have a chance of creating super coats. There's not that many super coats in this whole ecosystem right now, and they are a little sought after. It's kind of like you're more unique, right? Like a rare item, right? But there's not much to it right now. They always tell us that there's going to be something about rare coats, super coats, but we don't really have any idea of what it is right now. I think this is more of a placeholder for future things down the road for Zed Run. But for now, if you're breeding specifically for super coats, it's kind of like, who cares, right? I'll run a green horse. I don't care. I'll run what color horse. I'll run any horse as long as they win, right? But some people like the colors of the horses and such like that. Me personally, give me any color of a horse. If it's a good horse, I don't really care what it is. Earning a real return is, there's a few ways of making money with breeding. Either you breed a good horse and you race it and you sell it for profit because it's a good horse, or you breed it with a good lineage and you sell it unraced as a lotto ticket, or third thing, you just breed anything and throw it together out there and try to make a return. Which, hey, whatever works. If you make money, you make money. If you make $5, you make $5, right? So as you're breeding your whatever horse that you have to keep in mind certain things, right? So for example, the Z number, for example, the bloodline, and for example, the breed type. So let's talk about the bloodline first, right? We talked about this briefly in terms of what the bloodlines were in the previous episodes. Nakamoto being the best of the best, Zabos being the second best, Finnies being third best, and Buterins being the worst, technically. So if you breed 2 Nakamotos together, your baby will become a Nakamoto. If you breed a Zabo and a Nakamoto, it'll always go to the lower bloodline, the Zabo. Finny with a Nakamoto, it would be a Finny. Buterin and Nakamoto will be a Buterin. So whatever you put the 2 parents together, it doesn't matter if it's a male or female, the outcome will always be the lower of the 2, regardless of what it is. But the key thing to think about is that if you hold a Nakamoto female and you breed it with a male stud, the cost of it would be the cost of the Buterin male stud. Vice versa, if you have a female Buterin and you're buying, if you look at stud, which is a Nakamoto stud, and you want to get paid for that, you're paying premium for a Nakamoto stud. So who really holds the DNA? Who really has what is important? Again, theories out there to discuss who actually holds what DNA and everything like that. It's discussed very in detail by a bunch of different people in the community, and we'll all discuss about that in later episodes. Again, this is a beginner episode, so we're not going to go deep dive into that. Basically, it's just got to think about cost effective to see what females you want in your stable and what to breed in your stable. But generally speaking, 2 bloodlines together, whichever one is the lower of the 2, is the one you're going to get as the outcome. Genotype is the most simple thing. If you can do simple math, then genotype will be pretty simple for you. If you can't do simple math, go get your phone out, get your calculator out, and do it there. Mother, father, Z number, plus together your result. Z10 plus Z5, Z15. Z1 plus Z3, Z4. Z100 plus Z1, Z101. So basically, add 2 numbers together, your outcome of your kid is going to be that Z number, maxes out as Z68, Z268. So you breed 268s together, you'll still only get a 268. That is your max that you're going to get for the genotype. Of course, there are many theories out there saying the lower the number is going to be better. I think Zed Run has already told us that the closer it is to Z1s are going to be better in terms of the quality of the horse. But the quality of the horse is also relative to the field of what you're in as well too. As we see now, prior to breeding, your Z5, your class 5 races were all mainly, Buterin Genesis horses, right? The 8s and 9s and 10s and some random, a few bred, exclusives and legendaries here and there, nothing too crazy. Then when breeding opened up, class 5 was full of legendary Buterins, some Z15, 17s, 18, 19s, all the way to 20s, right? Not that many exclusives. A month or 2 later, Class 5, now it's filled with exclusives, which is 25s, 30s, in the whole Class 5, which is crazy, right? As we see the progress of the game go, we're going to see more and more higher numbers in that Class 5, or the lowest class if they ever put more classes on there. So the horses and stuff like that all relative to the field, but currently I don't think many are past Z40s on there that are raceable anyways. Next thing is breed type. This is going to be the most little difficult. The male holds the key into determining what your offspring is going to be. So a Genesis male with a Genesis female will always produce a legendary. And then after the legendary, you have the baby if it's a female. If you cross it back with a male Genesis, it becomes an exclusive. If you have a legendary male and you put it with a Genesis female, it would also be an exclusive. You put a legendary together and a legendary together, it would also be an exclusive. So legendary crossing with any of these Genesis and legendary will always result in an exclusive. Once you hit the other ones like a legendary and you breed it with an exclusive, it becomes an elite. But if you have an exclusive and you breed it with a Genesis, it maintains whatever it is on there. So for example, anything after this you breed with the Genesis will always maintain what their class is, the breed type is. Exclusive with Genesis will always be exclusive. Elite with Genesis will always be elite. Cross with Genesis will always be cross. Well, Pacer is always going to be Pacer, so there's nothing after that. But once you start, your male starts being, a legendary, it downs to the next class. Legendary and legendary will give you exclusive. Legendary and exclusive gives you an elite. Legendary elite will give you a cross. Legendary cross will still give you a cross. But legendary and pacer will give you a pacer. So once you get into this category, you can still continue on until you mix cross with cross. Whoa, that is a big... you could. Basically, a legendary will hold your class until cross. Elite, exclusive, elite, and then cross. So, do we have many cross and pacers that are really good right now? Not that many. Most people tend to try to keep it within the exclusive and elites. We don't have any true theories yet, or proven theories yet to see what the best racers are. Of course, right now C1 has a bunch of legendary Nakamotos and such like that, but it's still very early in the game to have an idea of which actually has the best type of racers. My personal opinion is exclusive and elites are going to be the best racers in the game because it gives you the most DNA of all these different types of horses together in that category without downgrading your breed too much to the cross and pacers. So that middle gap in between, I can still hold the low Z numbers, at the same time hold a bunch of DNA together to create that perfect monster. But again, it's all still theories out there, nothing proven yet. It's just my take on it. I feel like exclusive and elite are going to be the best racers in the game, not necessarily the best breeders or anything like that, just saying they're going to be the best racers in game. Next thing is coat color. Basically, there's formulas and calculators out there. I'm not gonna say too much on there, but a bunch of people have different calculators. Google coat color calculator Zed Run, and they'll all be there. If you really want to breed coat color, I don't think it matters much anymore right now. All I know is green horses don't sell. That's all you gotta think about is green horses are doo-doo. Don't buy a green horse. Other than that, colors are not that. No one really cares about it that much, unless it's the neon green color one that everybody really likes, the Bonnie Parker green. I forgot which green that is, but anyways, that's a good green. The rest of the other poo greens, don't go for those ones. Other than that, coat colors are so subjective to whatever you like. So, are they gonna get you more money? Maybe. Right now, no one really cares about color that much anymore. So the next thing is, why do you want to breed in this game? Because it does cost a lot of money. It's not that cheap. It's a couple $100 for something. Like a Z14 is like $93 just to breed with one, right? And the whole key thing is to breed better horses, to expand your stable, to continuously produce good race horses so you can compete in at least a profitable level to keep growing and growing and growing. Zed Run has already said that loaning out horses is on the table on what they want. And if Axie Infinity is one of those games that have a little bit of a model on what this type of game, what NFT gaming can be, if you have a stable of 50 horses and you can have all 50 really half decent racers, they don't have to be all C1 racers, but all of them are profitable racers. You can loan out your 10 or 15 to somebody else to race it for you in the future and get a cut of it, which is great passive income. Also, if you have more and more horses, you can able to compete in all different things. Right now, with stamina being every 12, well, it's still every 24, but every 12 hours or so, you can only really race one horse every 3 to 4 times a day, depending on if you get the perfect race, the perfect distances and fees and stuff like that. But if you have more horses, you just keep plugging them in. Race populates, plug one in. Race populates, plug another one in. Like for example, mine's a little bit uneven right now. I have a lot more sprinters than I do marathoners, so whenever 1,000 and 1,200 comes, I have so many to click through to just put them in. But once it goes to 2,000 and 2,400s and 2,200s, I only have a couple to put in. So if I have more of those, I can just, whatever, doesn't matter what pops up, I have a horse for it, right? So what you want, or what you hopefully can strive for, is to have that continuously income, so you just go sit there and just keep clicking, and just keep racing non-stop 24/7 and make a lot of money. I mean, it all depends on what your strategy is. In my opinion, it's a game. I like to sit down and play the game. That's the major issue I have with stamina being 24 hours, is when I want to play this game, I go to it, I click 2 things, and then I leave, because they're like, oh, okay, it's dead, like stamina is gone, like I have to wait at least 24 hours to race again if it pops up within 24 hours, right? That's the worst thing, is that the race population back then, it was like, or still currently now, is that, yeah, you have to wait 24 hours for it to be full stamina, but you can't race exactly 24 hours afterwards, because you have to wait for the right race to come up. It might be another 3 hours before the right race comes up, and then guess what? You have to wait 24 hours after that, so it's just delaying more and more. So now you're going to be racing 1 race, or 2 or 3 races every other day. And it's just kind of like, you need so many more horses to actually play the game. The game is kind of boring right now if you just have 2 horses, because you literally just do it once every 2 days to race 4 or 5 races, and that's it. Versus if you had 50 horses, you just keep continuously playing for, like, you know, a few hours, right? Click, going to it and stuff like that. It's just more fun having more horses. Pricing of breeding. A lot of people be like, oh, I have a 20% win race horse. This guy's gonna be making millions of dollars. I'm gonna put him on this for 10 ETH. Someone's gonna buy it. No. Come on. Let's be real. There's a million of your other horses out there. The most important is, you gotta keep in mind how to price your horses in the stud. Is number 1 is it a Genesis? If it's not a Genesis, then your chances of getting someone to pick it up are a little bit lower. Next thing is, what kind of bloodline is it? Is it a Nakamoto? Is it a legendary Nakamoto? Is it a cross Nakamoto? Do you have an exclusive breeder in? If it's a Nakamoto, a legendary Nakamoto, you have a higher chance of getting someone to pick it up for your stud. Especially if you have some good, if you have a good high win ratio, great heats and things like that, then yeah, a lot of people might want to buy a horse to stud for a little bit more. Again, it depends on the theories out there. If you have a cross Buterin Z50 and you want to put into a stud, even if it's like a 50% win rate, let's be real here, no one really wants that horse as their bloodline. Just understand that not many people would want that lower end tiered type of horses for, but so like I don't even put any exclusive or legendary cults into the stud anymore at all, because I think it's just a waste of time, and I might as well just keep it in my. No one's gonna do it, right? I see a bunch of these horses, 6,293 horses in stud right now. I bet you 6,193 of them are not going to be usable. Not going to be. There's maybe 100 horses in here that's actually going to get picked up. That's just the reality of it. Unless you want to go onto Zed Run Discord and advertise your horse and stuff like that, I highly doubt your Z18 Buterin. Sorry, Centauro Knight. I don't think you're gonna get your stud picked up. Exclusive Finny Omar Little. Sorry, I don't think that's gonna be picked up as well too. This guy, A Touch of Sass. You're probably gonna get picked up. Not right now though, but eventually these guys will be more sought after, and this guy will be picked up eventually. Last thing is how to pick your breed. So depending on if you have, for example, a female horse and you want to breed your female horse, what do you do to pick a stud? First thing is, look at your horse. What kind of breed, bloodline is it, right? Is it a Buterin? Is it a Finny? Is it a Zabo? Is it a Nakamoto? If you have a Buterin, it doesn't really matter who you breed with. It's going to be a Buterin anyways. You have a Finny, I would say breed within Affinity or anything above. Zabo, anything above. Nakamoto, you can't go above. Breed with a Nakamoto. The breeds are going to be the most important to see what you want to breed. If you have a legendary, you can breed with another legendary or breed with an exclusive. So that's all depends on your price point, your theories on what to do, and of course how much money you have. If you have an exclusive already, I would try to cross it back into a Genesis if you have the money for it. It's not that expensive for a Buterin. It's not that expensive for a Finny. It gets a little bit pricey for Zabos and Nakamotos, but in my opinion, if you have the money and you truly believe in your theory and your horses, cross it back to the Genesis to keep that exclusive line. Same with Elite. Once you go down to Cross and Pacers, it'll be really hard to sell the horses. Just don't do it. But if you're watching this later down the road and Cross and Pacers are starting to be a more common theme in this game, then yes, it might work. But for now, stick with exclusive and elites and try to keep it there with Genesis. Don't go too far down that line with Crosses and Pacers. So this is just a basic guide on breeding, just a very overview, high overview of what breeding is, what a little bit of strategy is, and how everything works on there. We will go into more deep into all the different theories of breeding in future episodes, and we'll have some guests and everything like that. I personally believe, and I do see things out there that show that there are proven results in breeding. What that means is, overall, breeding is random, right? So everybody is breeding randomly, so the results you're gonna get is random, if that makes sense. Basically, right now there's a lot of stats or stats out there saying that, oh, breeding is just 100% random. You throw two horses together, it could be good, it could be bad, that's it, right? That's it. There's no madness behind it. There's no theory, there's nothing. There's just no DNA, anything like that. It's just throw two horses together, bam, you get what you get, and that's it. That is not really the case. The data shows that breeding is random is because the big core group of all those horses right now out there are bred randomly. There's no theory in there. When breeding opened, everybody smashed everything together with no theory, and everything that's produced out was completely random. But if you have a control group of all the horses with proven theories in there, and in that proven theory you see a percentage increase from the main group, then that means that those theories of DNA and bloodlines are valid. If I'm breeding carefully and have my theories in the same 500 horses or within 500 horses that I identified as good breeding horses, and I'm consistently producing, let's say, a 20% better outcome than the rest just randomly putting things together, doesn't that already prove that breeding is not random? There's no Zed Run does not work in absolutes. There's no 100% guarantee you're gonna get a good horse, but if I'm gonna give you an extra 20% chance of breeding a good horse, are you gonna take it? That's the key factor. That's the key thing you gotta keep in mind is think of what kind of theory, what kind of your theories. There's tons of theories out there right now. Research your theory. Research is the most important thing. Research which theory you believe in. Look at the data that's provided and start going towards that theory and build your stable around that theory. You can't go blindly, randomly mashing two horses together. You need to pick a strategy. Whether it's wrong or right, you have to stick it out and until you give yourself a timeline on how many breeds you have, and then reevaluate and go again. Reevaluate and go again. You can't just keep bashing your head the same strategy, and if your strategy is working, you see what's working. If it's not working, you see why it's not working, and just keep continuing. Strategy and research is the most important. This episode is very, very long, and it's going to be even like there's going to be more and more breeding episodes because it is the topic of this game. This is a breeding game at the end of the day. Racing is a part of it, but breeding is the most important thing that goes into racing, right? So in my opinion, this is a full breeding game, and I think there's so much into this, and I think there's a lot of data out there. There's a lot of good strategies out there that already show proven success, and it shows that reading is not random. There's so much more to it than that. Let me know what you guys think about this episode, and of course, next episode will be the final episode in the five-part beginner's guide. We will have more and more episodes later on as more in detail if you're interested into certain topics, and we will go into that as well. Remember, please like and subscribe to the channel and click the bell button for more Zed Run content.